it's scary hours in Manchester. That's all I'm saying. It's not for the red side of Manchester. So first things first, the biggest news of the week that we've got this week is Erling Haaland signing for Manchester City. I'm honestly one of those in the minority for Man United fans. I'm loving this. I think this is fantastic. This is gonna be so much fun just watching Haaland every week in the Premier League, and it's gonna bring up everyone else's competitiveness 10%, 15%, 20%, even more, because you kind of look at Manchester City thinking, how do you stop them with the way they're playing now without a striker? But Pep Guardiola, since losing to Real Madrid, has had a whole different side of him. Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about Haaland. We've got this going forward as well. And Haaland is the Manchester City player coming from the summer. They've got Julian Alvarez, who's also come from River Plate as well. So they've got some of the most amazing young, talented attackers in world football. Gabriel Jesus has really stepped up his game as well. We all know about Phil Foden as well. It goes to show that Manchester City are not striving to be second best or third best anymore, even in Europe. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I know people, Syed might agree with me as Man United fans, oh yeah, we just want our club to be good again. But Manchester City, they're going to a whole new different mentality. And I'm really excited about this personally.
In a general sense, it's amazing for the league. I've always been a fan of Haaland. I feel like his personality in a way as well. Also, interesting interviews as well, because he doesn't like to give too much away with the interviews. So that'll be interesting from to have interviews. But from a Liverpool perspective, it's difficult to compete. I mean, we've got Luis Diaz, who wasn't a big player before he came to Liverpool, but it's like Man City are just creating a dream team when Liverpool are a few steps behind them on the financial side. I don't know how we could compete. I really don't know how we could compete.
Because Jurgen Klopp does find absolute gems of players. Like you said, Luis Diaz is someone who everyone's now raving about, but 12 months ago, it'd be like Salam and I talking about him on Football Manager or something like that as a really good player to sign for like 20 million. And 2 years ago, Manchester United rejected buying him in January of 2020, if I remember correctly as well. But what does that kind of show the rest of the world? That Manchester City are ambitious enough to sign one of the best young strikers in world football, but Man United were like, no, you know what, we'll leave him. We've got Martial up front.
I think when it comes to those guys wanting to sign him, I think apparently it came down to the technicality of his sell-on clause that Raiola, rest in peace, wanted to put in his contract.
Yeah.
But what it shows is exactly where the two teams are right now. When it comes down to it, look, as a Man United fan, I'm reeling. I'm thinking, why on earth did we not get that over the line when we had the opportunity to at such a reportedly affordable price considering the market? The best players need to be playing in the best teams in the world. 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that was us. We had the best players in the world. We had the best midfielders, the best defenders. You could all probably name them off the top of your heads. But then over time, we've unfortunately fallen behind. So it comes down to the fact that one of the best young prospects in the world has gone to one of the best teams in the world. And there's no doubt in that. Arjun was saying before about Liverpool and that, yeah, they don't have the financial clout, but Liverpool scares me because if you look at them, they might not have the financial clout that City, United, even Chelsea do to some degree, but they're still competing. They're still in the shout with all these titles year in, year out. You cannot put them out of the running. And as a United fan, for the both of us, it's like probably our worst nightmare. I witnessed them in my lifetime. I witnessed Liverpool and City winning Premier League. I don't want to keep doing that. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but an exciting one for sure.
Yeah. Pep Guardiola will have to adapt to having another striker in this side for Manchester City, because Salam, as we've been saying over the season, it may have been more of a benefit not to have a striker for Pep Guardiola like he has done for the rest of the season. Only losing 3 games in the Premier League this season, top of the table at the time of speaking with 2 games left, because he can always put someone else in that false 9 position. He can put a Foden, he can put a Bernardo. He's tried Jack Grealish, but like we've both said, Jack Grealish hasn't really settled into that new way of playing. But how do you reckon it will kind of go under Pep Guardiola with Erling Haaland? Do you reckon he'll be playing as that number 9, or do you reckon he will be a roulette merchant going out to the wings or anything like that as well?
I agree with everything that Syed said actually as well. In terms of just the important points and financial clout and that stuff, I feel like United have missed out big time because this could have been a player that could really have bridged the gap, you know, with sort of Chelsea, Liverpool, and City. I think with City signing him, it puts them, if they're playing this well without an out-and-out striker, he could obviously come and, you know, give them more like breathing space and win them the games that they might have been struggling to win this season, and, you know, help them get that Champions League. But equally, there's been a lot of talk saying that would Pep be able to adapt? So I'm not too sure, because, you know, Haaland could come in, like in my Football Manager season, he plays for Man City. No, he plays for Liverpool actually, and he scores like 40 goals every season anyway. So he could end up like that. But equally, Pep might struggle to fit him in, or he might even take a season to adapt fully to the Premier League, because the demands of the league are different to, you know, other leagues, as we've seen with like a lot of players. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he does. I feel like Pep would be able to get the best out of him, but then would he be able to play in this sort of fluid football system is a question. I mean, you know, Pep did it with Lewandowski at Bayern and got him, you know, firing, you know, goals. But there's an argument that the Premier League sort of a tougher league, and Haaland might even struggle against some of the, you know, some of the other sort of defenders that we've got, like the Ben Mees, and well, he might not even be in the Premier League, but, you know, he might struggle against some of the more physical opponents that we've got.
Personally, I think he'll hit the ground running. I think they'll have to play to his strength, to his benefits. Kevin De Bruyne will be one of the best players Haaland will ever have to play with in his career. Maybe for the next 2-3 years of his career, it'll be fantastic to see how it goes. And realistically speaking, everyone in the Premier League will be literally just like 10-20% more interested in playing against Manchester City, with the likes of Haaland, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Raheem Sterling as well. Because there's talks of Raheem Sterling leaving, there's talks of Jesus leaving as well. But when you have that kind of that caliber of attacker with Julian Alvarez coming in as well, it's scary hours in Manchester. That's all I'm saying. It's not for the red side of Manchester. It's just for the blue side of Manchester. It's scary.
I do think, like as you said, he'll play to his strengths rather than keep the philosophy sort of thing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll hit the ground running, and he's got a quality as well. So I don't think that speaks for itself. I've
just been reading that there's going to be another release clause in Haaland's deal for 2024. About 127 million, I think. It was 150 million euros, but they're sort of saying like he might use Man City as a stepping stone for Real Madrid, basically. So, I mean, I don't know, it's a bit of a funny one.